What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your girl Tiff. I'm back, and I'm back with part 5 of my prison story. But guess what? We might even get into part 6. So if you've been sleeping up under a rock and you don't know what's been going on, I got part 1, part 2, part 3, and part 4 that's already out. This is gonna be part 5, and now we may be getting into part 6. So do me a favor, if you haven't did it already, like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. Because how we gonna keep growing on this channel if y'all not participating to keep us in the algorithm? Because that's what we need to do. We need to keep on getting in the algorithm. Now, I want to take this short time to tell y'all, I really apologize for this little gap that I've been doing. But this week has been like hectic. I went through being laid on some bills, so I had to, do my 1-2 to catch back up. Then, right after homecoming, you following the channel, my daughter just went to homecoming. She gets suspended from school for a box cutter. She took a box cutter to school. So we're going to get into that too on another video. But, okay, so after that, I ended up starting a new position at work. Your girl got promoted. So it's been like a roller coaster of things going on. So just bear with me. Stay tuned and StreetMotherz Podcast for the win. We're going to keep things real over here. Real and raw. We're not faking. It is what it is. Hey, let's get to it. Yeah. So I wasn't really feeling the vibe at work release, so I signed out. I decided to sign out of work release because, I feel like my last few months of being in the pen, I was just finna just kick back and chill. So I thought. But before I left, the lady that I told you that I was having the issues with, she just kept on like, no, why you leaving? Why you leaving? And I kept telling her, I'm just ready to go back. I just felt like I was going to get in trouble at work release. And it was going to get me set out from going to parole. So I was on the bus with the girls that either got kicked out of boot camp or maybe, I think it was like 1 or 2 that ended up leaving work release too. We was all on the bus. So we went on back to McPherson unit. So we arrived on the compound, like the same way we did when we first got there. Only difference was when I came in, I had already knew some people. So everybody was like, what you doing back? What you doing back? And I kept telling these folks, I signed out, but nobody believed me. They like, you ain't signed out of work release. Yeah, I was ready to kick back and relax my feet, party on down to the escape beat. But anyway, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'm finna chill and lay out. That's what I was telling them. Well, they ended up putting me in the kitchen. Ooh, Lord, their kitchen. I go to the unit to where the kitchen people is. I had the morning shift and the lunch shift. So I end up having to get up at like 2 o'clock in the morning and go. So when I got back, I ended up in the barracks with a lady that was, work. She was in the streets with me. But I'm not, when I say work in the streets, she smoked. So you know what I was doing. So we had already, we was straight. But anyway, so when we was in prison or whatever, I used to let her sing kind of like the streets, I'm gonna take care of you straight. You know what I'm saying? So she ended up, like, well, I fold your clothes, I do all this and that. I was eating good. My commissary was fat, like I was straight. So I'm like, okay, well, you could just eat with me, I fool with you, Now, also on a bunk, on my bunk, my little bunky or whatever, not little bunk because she was a big bunk because anyway, baby girl was made like top heavy and straight down the sides and pushed back in the middle. So anyway, she was made like that. So, I was the top bunk and she was the bottom bunk, but that was my bunky. So, we was straight. She was from Pine Bluff. So, that was my girl or whatever. But I also ended up bumping into another girl I knew from the town. She had 132 years. I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all who that is. I had a guest on the show.
She didn't know what she was going to endure on the other side of her room.
Okay.
She just know that she was fighting for her life to get to her kids. So she tussled with somebody in her bedroom. The shotgun went off. The whole call was recorded, on 911. Dispatch, basically had picked up my grandma in the background saying, Lord Jesus, Lord Jesus. That's kind of what the call picked up that night. And it just heard a lot of chaos. You heard gunshots going off. You hear one close range.
The girl that I was cool with was in there from that family. So, okay. Anyway, make a long story short, she was my homegirl too in the pen. So, her and my other homeboy, my homeboy mama, she was in there too. So, I'm knowing all these people from the town. Well, we on the compound, I end up seeing one of my homegirls. She was from Riceville. This the first night that I'm in the pen. So in the midst of us going to lunch, we sitting down at the trays, and my homegirl noticed, she like, hey, it seemed like old girl them over there watching you. So I'm looking like, you know what I'm saying? They watching me. Like, what they watching me for? So she like, fuck it, let's go on and dump our tray. And you know what I'm saying? Go back to the unit. So I'm like, all right. So boom, we gonna dump our tray. So on our way walking through the hallway, old girl, you know what I'm saying? Her and her little hunger is the ones that was watching me. They walk on, they in the front of us because they didn't dump their tray when they seen us, but they in the head of us. Me and my hunger really already see what's going on. We see the play that's going on. So on our way walking, she say, the other girl grabbed her hunger hand. And then the one that didn't like me, she like, if I hit her, they ain't gonna see me they ain't gonna see it, so they ain't gonna be able to do nothing. So hold on. Hit who? Because, baby girl, we finna tear this hallway all the way up. They're definitely gonna see because, baby, I'm finna go to work with you in this hallway. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, she didn't end up doing nothing. Like I knew she wasn't gonna do nothing. But she was talking her little stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I said what I said, and she went on. But keep in mind, from that point on, I'm zeroed in on little mama. But she had been there like 7 years because she was in there for murder. Baby, that don't scare me. I come from, we ain't gonna get into all that. But that didn't scare me. So, okay, she was in there or whatever, boom. So, we gonna dump our tray, we gonna go back. And, from that point on, I'm watching her. Everything continued to progress on and freeze. And the lady that was working, the guard, oh, that was my girl. I'm telling you, she gonna call me out. We cooking gizzards after everybody leave. We doing everything. So one day, my homeboy and them come from the men's prison. They called me out the hall or whatever. Call me out or whatever. I come over there. One of my homeboys, and he dead now. He like, sis, what you doing in here? I'm like, the same thing you're doing up in here. Time. So anyway, after all, he end up saying all that, he laughed. He think I'm playing and all that. Boy, I'm not playing. I'm doing time. I'm trying to go home. So the lady in the kitchen, that was my girl. You know what I'm saying? So what she used to be doing was sneaking me cigarettes up in there. And nobody really knew that she was doing it. Of course, they couldn't know that. But she was bringing cigarettes in. I'm giving her the little bag. And then, baby, boom, I'm dumping it off my way. So, everything just kept on flowing. I'm getting my little hustle on up in there. And I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to chill out because I ain't got that much longer. So I leave that alone. So my bunky, every night we in there spreading it up. You know what I'm saying? Like we normally do. We go back to the barracks. I get back probably early, midday or whatever because I used to be off early. So I get back to the pod. We in the pod chilling. And this particular day, we like, okay, we got our little spade gang going or whatever. And I'm noticing my little homegirl, the one that's my bunky, she done just jumped off acting funny and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, what is this girl acting funny for? Like, I don't know what she acting funny for. But I know from just being, where I'm from and stuff, you got to watch this. So I'm like, her energy didn't change. So I'm like, all right. You know what I'm saying? I still ain't said nothing. She watching me, I'm watching her. And remember, we sleep on top of each other. So I decided to make me a homemade shank. and I made one. So, I got it all wrapped up. They used to give us blades, like shaving blades, but mine really wasn't a shank. What I made me was actually a blade. So I popped open the razor and I took the blade itself out of it. And I used that. And then I put around the stick that I had ended up getting. And I sharpened it up and I taped it up. I ripped my sheet and I taped it up and I just kept taping it up and I made it to where it was sturdy. Ooh, y'all, excuse me. But anyway, so I had a blade. So I'm like, yeah, this girl sleeping up under there. She try anything. This is the mind, y'all. I know it sounds crazy, but this is the mind frame I had back then. I don't have this mind frame now. I did back then. And one thing about prison is survival. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to know how to survive up in there. So I put them skills to use. So, okay, after I had ended up having it or whatever, I didn't really know who I was going to end up using it on. All I know is I was prepared to use it. So keep in mind, I had already had old girl over here. Come to find out, she don't like me because her female like me. You know what I'm saying? Somebody I had never even had a conversation with, but they don't play like that in the prison. You see what I'm saying? Like, you could be in some beef and don't even know you in no beef. Because that particular incident with that girl, like, I real deal didn't know that her female had liked me. I didn't even know her female. But I guess she had been talking or whatever, saying whatever she was saying. And, old girl just didn't like it. So I'm like, all right. So, okay. One day we go to rec. And shoot, I told my stuff on the rec yard. You know what I'm saying? I see little mama, the girl from the other barracks. Now keep in mind, let me tell y'all how the barracks was made. So it was like an octagon. So their room was right here, ours was right here, but you could see it was a long window down, and you could see me and you could see them. Well, not me, but you could see the long window. So whoever's standing in the windows, you could see each other. So she's standing in the window or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, I already know I'm gonna have to get on this BASS. So this is what I'm telling myself. I'm already prepared because my fight that I am gonna have, keep in mind, I've been in prison. I ain't been in nothing. You know what I'm saying? I have been in a little something, but the guards, they dismissed it. But I'm talking about like far as fighting and all that stuff. So I'm straight on the COs and all them. They radar, I'm good. So I'm like, okay, I'm already knowing this who I'm gonna have to mess up if I gotta mess somebody up. But the crazy part was I was getting closer and closer to my parole date. And so that was kind of scary, I'm looking at the fact that I could go to parole and I get in trouble and now I'm messed around. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna keep my composure and I'm gonna stay cool. So, okay. We end up we come back from rec or whatever. I'm like, I'm gonna just mind my business. So one night, one day, it was this girl coming in. Now, this girl, she had like hair that was kind of like right here. It was dark. I never forget. She was a tall, kind of like stout, big old girl. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say her race, but she was big. Like she been in the cornfields. Like she been working on tractors and stuff like this. So y'all can get where I'm going. But anyway, she came in, but she was so quiet and timid and just like wasn't saying nothing and all this and that. And everybody trying to wonder, what has this girl done? So keep in mind, I'm trying to mind my business, but I got one homegirl. She with it. Like, you know what I'm saying? She doing time. So she like, it is what it is. So she hypes me up. Girl, let's find out what she in here for. And this, that, and that. Boom. My nose and butt. So I'm like, all right, well, let's see. Come to find out, girl had threw her baby off a cliff. And we had been seeing her at visitation, but her mama then was bringing the baby and everything like nothing. I guess that's what they kind of do. Sometimes, I don't know how they made amends with that, but that's what they did. But anyway, her mama then ended up used to bring her to visitation, the baby to see her and stuff. So it was her baby. So we like, she done threw her baby off the cliff. So when I tell y'all, when they tell you that stuff happens and stuff like sex offenders, people that do stuff to their children, it can happen. And 9 times out of 10, the stakes are higher because you get this vision of prison to think everything is rah-rah, and it's really not. But when it is rah-rah, it's the reasons why is because you're playing gay games. And gay games mean you got a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever prison you in, whatever you got. You got that. And 9 times out of 10, you fight either with your mate or somebody like your mate. Then you got that. You got the sex predators and you got the child abusers. Those are the 3 categories that's 9 times out of 10. Don't let me forget playing with somebody's money with commissary and all this. But those are the main things that you going to get into something. If you stay clear of those, then 9 times out of 10, you're clear. So anyway, old girl, we find out where she from. So now we sitting around, me and my little clique, we sitting around, we doing what we do. And what we always do, we spread. You know what I'm saying? So in the midst of us spreading, we come up with a plan. Old girl and play with her baby. We got to see her. You know what I'm saying? And she ended up going to sleep one night. So when she went to sleep, when she woke up, she was strapped to a bed. We had tied her up with dental floss. So everybody, each we had 2 down there, 2 up in the front. She was strapped to a bed with dental floss. No lie. If you was in the pen with me and you was in the barracks with me, we did that. But it was wrong. It was wrong now that I look back, no matter what she did. And she was paying her dues right then. We didn't have no business trying to be the judge and the jury because we just wasn't it. So, but that's what we did. So we tied her to the bed with the dental floss or whatever. And she ended up, finally the guards ran in there and they got her untied. But nobody ever figured out who did it. If they did, they acted like they didn't know. So, okay. So she was free from it. So, that ended up passing. And like a month or so after, I ended up having my first fight. So I'm going to start off by telling y'all how I started, but I ain't going to finish it up because I'm going to drop that in part 6. So anyway, my bunky, I told you we used to all sit around, you know what I'm saying? And we used to be chilling. So everybody sitting around or whatever. And you remember I told you my bunky had started giving me these weird vibes. So come to find out, my bunky had an issue with me because my homeboy mama was dating her and old girl that I was telling y'all about at the beginning. They had the 132 years. She was dating both of them. But keep in mind, these 2 people are from my city. From my state, from my city. We click tight. If 2 in the pen, 9 times out of 10, you either riding with your car, you riding with your city. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, these people is from my city. Yeah, me and you bunkies and we know each other, but she from a different city. So, plus this is my homeboy mama. If she pimping, she pimping. If she a player, she a player. So, okay. Anyway, y'all, these mosquitoes starting to bite me up, so I'm finna get ready. I might not be doing part 6, baby, because no. So anyway, okay, she end up, having these little weird vibes or whatever. So I'm wondering what's going on with her, but she done told some other girl that, she got a problem with me. And the girl like, I thought y'all been cool or whatever. She tell her she cool with them and this, that, and other. So I don't say nothing about it because, girl, I don't care nothing about what y'all got going on. I ain't messing with none of y'all. Everybody in the same pill call line. I don't know who got what. Baby, I'm going home and I'm going home clean. You see what I'm saying? So, okay. She decides she has attitude. Well, keep in mind, I'm still not putting 2 and 2 together that she really, really, really got a problem. So, okay, we go to the kitchen one day. It's pancake day. Let me tell y'all about pancake day. Pancake day was on Saturdays. And baby, when I tell you people don't play about their pancakes on Saturdays, baby, they don't play about them pancakes on Saturdays. So anyway, It was pancake day. So we go to the kitchen, and I've been standing over on a stool because the pot's so big, they about this big. It's a spoon. I'm standing over. I'm woo, woo. You know what I'm saying? I'm really cooking. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, but she got attitude. So I had already fried like so many pieces of bologna early, and I had already got in trouble for it because I had burnt the bologna on purpose. Because baby, we won't burn bologna. Matter of fact, I still eat burnt bologna sandwiches now, but we won't burn bologna in this prison. So I had kind of got in trouble for that earlier. But anyway, that didn't have nothing to do with nothing. So I'm telling her to get these pancakes together and let me show you how to do it. I'm staying overtime trying to help her because this is supposed to be my home girl. You know what I'm saying? She was so cool before. So she's slapping around stuff and slamming spoons. So I'm steady looking at her like, sis, what's up? You act like you having a seizure over there. You know what I'm saying? You over there roboting and doing all this extra, just doing too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like all the movements. The movements was driving me, like, because normally the movements get you popped. So I'm like, what's up? She like, I don't know, but I said, listen, I'm finna go. And I tell you what, I was trying to help you so you wouldn't mess up these people pancakes on Saturdays. But since you got an attitude and you doing all this roboting and stuff, baby, I'm finna go. So I end up telling the guard I'm gone because, you got to sign and let them know you gone on back to your barracks. So I go on back to my barracks. And, I get back to the barracks. She cooked the little pancakes and she messed them people pancakes up. And when I tell you they was mad, they was getting on her butt that day. Oh, they was getting on her butt. So, and I'm going to tell y'all about that too. But anyway, they was like wanting to fight and everything about them pancakes. So, okay. She come back to the pod with, remember I told y'all her things is like this big or whatever. So we in the same bed area. She come back stumping. So now she putting her laundry up. She over there standing on the other side of the bed. Yo, you did some HO stuff in the kitchen and you know what I'm saying? HA stuff in the kitchen. Ho ass. In the kitchen and some. So y'all remember when I told y'all the lady that I used to let eat with me or whatever? She used to smoke. That was my girl. So she like, let me whoop her. You know what I'm saying? Let me whoop her. And I'm like, no, because if she play with me, everybody else gonna think that they can play with me. So she like, let me go on a whoop her. I go flat in 7 days. Now, what flat means, y'all, is no matter if you got a 10-year sentence, if you have walked your sentence down completely to that 10th year day, no matter if you catch, a disciplinary or not, they have to let you go because your sentence is complete. Your sentence is complete, done, and you have served your time. So you get to go home. So she like, let me go whoop her. Like, nah, I can't do that because she play with, if I let her play, this the penitentiary, baby. You gotta, eat or be eaten. So I'm like, nah, if I let her play with me, they gonna think it's sweet. And baby, it ain't that. So I'm like, all right. So she like, I just want to whoop her. She stayed over there talking. I said, okay, I'm gonna let her say whatever she want to say. But if she come in my bed area, then that's when, you know what I'm saying, something will pop out if she come over here and she put her hands on me. Because remember, we was in the same bed area. So I'm standing over there, I'm in the mirror and I'm putting on my lip gloss because, baby, the one thing I got is my lip gloss. So I'm like, I'm all in the mirror and I'm like, I'm just doing. And I'm letting her talk. So while she talking, I'm like, yeah, all right. She walked right over y'all. And I was like, oh, Lord, please don't let this girl walk over here. These big old breasts, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what to do with these. So anyway, she walked over there. She said, you did some HOS in the kitchen, like I said. And I'm standing there thinking, I'm like, all right, she can talk in my face and everything. So she said, I said, if she don't put her hands on me, I ain't gonna do nothing. So she said, I said, and she put her finger on my face and she pushed my head. And I'll be back with part 6 to give y'all part 6. Stay tuned, and I'm gonna tell y'all the rest of what happened and what boom, 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 how that rumpa-dumpa-dump went. And what else happened. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Like I said, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll be back with part 6. StreetMotherz Podcast. Thanks.
Big man, whoa, whoa, flex up, catch up. Big man, whoa, whoa, flex up, catch up. Big man, whoa, whoa, flex up, catch up.